A late night vibe. Am I right? So, this is Esther from what may not be known as Echo Chamber for much longer, but, anyways, let's do a little vibe coding session. I will be frank with you, I have 15 minutes until my bedtime, but I'm doing my best to prepare accordingly and share the setup that we now have. Now, if you saw my first vibe coding session, you will know that the first 5 minutes were complete caca. I was not set up. I just thought, F it, let's just do it. And so that's why we did that. Today, thankfully, I will say, I feel a little bit more prepared. Shout out to my fiance. Okay. Because he seriously helped me a lot with setting up everything. Claude, the Notion, just real big applause. I'm not gonna share too much, nothing too crazy, but I definitely want to show a little bit of the beauty of this baby, because I realize now how a little bit more how you can really use AI in a way that can really organize your thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts, so I really appreciate my husband to be for helping me figure out how to create a structure to get those thoughts across. Okay, enough of the going so deep. Honestly, I'm very transparent, but sometimes I'm like, dang, I am like, I don't want to be showing like my API or something, you know. Hey Claude, if you're hearing this, like, be good, okay? No sharing secrets. Here's the thing. I work for the government, and I designed 2 signs not too long ago. In fact, my friend, I will show you the signs as I prepare right now. And what can I say? I made those signs, and both of these signs are, there we go. Yeah, that's it. That is indeed it, right there. Okay, so those are the signs. And one is for the Gulf Zone because we have a garden and we have a trail, and this part of the Gulf is bordering a elementary school. So there's this sign, and I wanted to create the Beware Danger Gulf Zone, do not enter. Now, guess what? Guess what happened? Okay, this is what happened. They have to consult the consultation, pretty much the lawyers, because signage is a hot topic. My supervisor shared a story of how they had a broken door. 2 doors, one of them broken. They said, door broken, please use next door. Somebody used the broken door, and they got hurt, and they sued, and they won. And you know what counsel said? Next time, don't say the door is broken, just tell them to use the other door, because they sued and won on negligence. Something's broken, you don't fix it. So sometimes less is more. So, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Anyways, so that was interesting, and it really made me think like, whoa, the government has a lot of legalities that they have to think about. Because when you're working with the public, it just, it's, you don't know what you're gonna get. So that's something to keep in mind at all times. So I'm gonna show you some things that I have on Canva. I'm gonna do a little bit of that. But this is also gonna help with the branding that we're doing today with Claude. And we have about 5 minutes to do this. We're diving into the voice. Now, there was a time in my life where I did a lot of how shall I say branding, a lot of branding. I also did a little bit of online courses, which is what you see here. When I was reprogramming, I have a lot of online courses and communities that I've done over the years. And branding is a really interesting thing because you're looking at how a group of people connect over some shared sense of identity. And so with Eco Chamber, the idea is that we're wanting to connect with the garden and our shared sense of responsibility to the garden. So a lot of the stuff that I've been doing is just figuring out how to give that information in a way that feels natural. And that is it is not a challenge, but it can be definitely something to think about. So I have this picture of the Nature Discovery Garden, and the Nature Discovery Garden is the school garden, and so there is a pathway towards the golf course that kind of reaches out, and because this is still within the aim of, rather new golf players, it's all about time and chance and how to reduce and prevent as much as possible. Yeah. So I think that's interesting to think about, and I really do love this garden. Alright, so let's get some of this into Claude and see what it says and just share this one more time. So, let's see, I'm gonna do my best to share this with you, okay, in a way that is not like totally not nice. So bear with me while I set things up. Okay. Yay. Thank you so much for bearing with me. We literally had 5 minutes before I was kind of being generous. But now I'm not being generous. I'm just being honest with you about my time. Will we be able to do this? Will I be able to show you? Okay. Alright, well, you're getting something. You're getting something. Okay, so it is what it is. Okay, so you can now see that I already asked Claude. I was asking the question about government. I was getting feedback about like, how should I approach the situation pretty much with the email. I don't want to say too much, and I want to make sure that just asking for a little bit of legal advice, because we all know that is one of the things that these guys are really trained at. Forgive me while I play with all the buttons on my keyboard. It's been a while. Okay. Okay, so you can barely see what I have here on the screen, but I kind of like that for privacy reasons. We'll give you a little bit more. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Alright, that was me rewriting the soul of Eco Chamber, which is the brand, but I want to give you something that is okay. Wow, there's a lot going on here. Okay, wow, there's a lot going on here. Okay, are you ready? So I asked, let's dive into the voice of the garden. Uh, what I hear, what we hear from my connections and the target clients, and how that relates to branding, marketing, and community. Okay, so that's what I asked because we're going into the voice. Now, one thing I will say is that I have a notion. The notion is the brain for this situation that we're going into, and it is quite powerful. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this bad boy right here. I'm gonna switch it up. So yeah, this is great stuff, and I'm going to just show you the notion because you shouldn't see it. Yay! Okay, eco chamber. So this is the open. This is what you get to see, and the cool thing about this is that I have all of the logs. This EC garden is the brain, and that's pretty cool. Okay, I mean, yeah, I probably should not be sharing this much, but I trust you, and I hope that you just do good stuff with this information. Okay. Alright. Alright, sweet. So let's go back to what we got here. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead, and here we are. So, voice of garden, we might mean any of these. The garden's own voice, the steward's voice, and the brand voice. Followers on the Holy Spirit. Not in that order. Okay. The translator between 1 and 2. Look at Claude learning. Yeah. Okay, so honestly, now it's just reading back the text. Sometimes I feel like a part of this is like, okay, I have lived through these experiences. I've thought every single day about Eco Chamber, how to grow the gardens, what to do in each given situation every day in terms of optimizing the use of the land, planting seeds, putting things away. Where do things go? How do they decay? And I still have a lot of questions unanswered, but I do feel like AI gives a lot of light on answering those questions to an extent. So, alright, so I'm just reading through right now Claude has given me back the text that I sent someone while thinking about the voice I would like Eco Chamber. I'm pretty much making an agent for what I've been doing. And I feel like that's a little bit of the secret sauce. So, that being said, yeah, warm opening, no jargon whatsoever. That is crazy how Claude really called that out because that's one thing I was struggling with in the beginning. So I think that's great that it's kind of calling out my weak points when it comes to like branding, and it's good because it helps with understanding verbs from hands and tools, means to end reasoning. Like these are all awesome, and I love each one. I think I've learned it from like, okay, let's just I've learned it from people telling me, giving me feedback, like, what's all this jargon? Cut it out. What is it now? Okay. So, yeah, I will be honest right now, it's time. Reading through this, there wasn't much vibe coding done. I just understood more the concepts of vibe coding, and it's kind of like you should be actively thinking. The idea is that you're developing your idea and you're using AI to help you do that. This still requires a good amount of energy from you, and good focus as well. And I think that's where you get good results. And this structure really helped. Having the Notion act as a brain, as a memory place for the Claude is pretty good. And yeah, I think I'm starting to understand a little bit more about vibe coding. Obviously, there's always it's probably pretty easy if you ever wanted to go on somebody's Notion and do crazy things with Claude, you could. So in terms of security, it's not the best, obviously. But what I will say right now, we're just fucking around and finding out. I feel like that's what I've been doing on so many levels, and please forgive me for dropping the F-bomb like that, but it's time. It's time to plant some seeds and see what grows. Okay, good luck with you if you are vibe coding, or if you have tips on vibe coding, please let me know. And thank you so much for watching this. Press the thumbs up, and if you haven't seen the first one, you don't have to see the first vibe coding video. It was a disaster. Godspeed.